La 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 la. I'm hoping I won't actually get interrupted by the airship or something. Oh wait. Yep, I'm once again going to get interrupted by that level again. Since just like it does it from the Super Mario Bros. U version. So, and once again we're gonna have to go on board on the airship. Soda Jungle's airship, all aboard! Anyway, hey everybody, this is me, Duffy Duck here, and I'm back for the Maxi Toys, and welcome back to my play of New Super Luigi U, via the New Super Mario Bros. U DLC, type of game. So anyways, last time that we actually did manage to fully complete its Sparkling Waters, even though despite the fact that I actually died like 5 times in a row. And today for this episode, we're about to continue on and explore the next world, known as Soda Jungle. And just like New Super Mario Bros. U, before you enter the next world, there's going to be a first ever airship level in during the New Super Mario Bros. U / New Super Luigi U. So, as far as this level is concerned, that is pretty much self-explanatory. We always have to go outside for the majority of this level. And not to mention, there's no abundancy of there's no water involved. Although the only time we're actually going to go underwater is being the Bowser Jr. battle. So, yeah, as far as memory goes, that's usually how this goes. So, yeah, what's cool about this level right here is that once you actually start up the level, you can probably tell, if you can tell from the screen already, from the beginning of this episode, that way you actually get yourselves a Luigi's face cameo right onto the ship itself, in this case the airship itself, which I found is kind of interesting. And right off the bat though, that you actually get yourselves 150 seconds as opposed to usual 100 seconds if you actually do it with the Bowser Jr. fight, because even though the entire battle itself with Bowser Jr. plays exactly like how it does it from the Mario version, but except you actually this time playing as Luigi instead of Mario. So that's usually how this goes when it comes to this little part. So yeah, as far as memory is concerned, that was actually pretty easy, self-explanatory. Although for some strange reason I ended up letting those red torpedo tests homing onto each other. So even then I need to actually just you know, concentrate for these little parts right there. As far as memory is concerned, that is usually how this goes for me. So anyway, so for the most part, he's gonna have to guide the red torpedo test to Bowser Jr. himself, because that was usually his weak spot. So yeah, as far as this is concerned, it's pretty much similar here. So yeah. So yeah, a few things I want to mention about the certain parts throughout is that I believe I've already mentioned it about the Super Mario run for, can say, like dozens amount of times. That recently I managed to play the game quite literally quickly, and then even then I've recently finished the tour mode. I think I already mentioned that before in the last video. But even then though, that I recently managed to collect myself some whole bunch of goodies, like the decorations as well as the bunch of purple coins or even pink coins. I've managed to get all the pink coins in the entire game. Then the next objective I need to do is to collect all the purple coins and even the toughest one, the black coins themselves. Because usually speaking, the purple coins and the black coins usually hidden well. Usually just hides really well hidden, especially noticeable when you actually uncover those brick blocks. Sorry, I can't speak today. Anyway, so yeah, I'll talk more to that until we actually get into the actual Soda Jungle world. So, there we go. That's usually, speaking of such, that was practically it for the first level in Soda Jungle. So now we're at the proper world in Soda Jungle. So, yeah, as far as this usually is concerned, so, yeah, I apologize for this little tongue twisted right over there. So, I really apologize for that. So as far as at this point and onwards, that the game itself is gonna get much more tougher now, especially the world's environments and stuff. So anyway, so you have to be you have to be really fast in this. So cyber offers, I think I'll get Yoshi, or I don't know what that is for FA or FE. But anyway though, so here we go with Soda Jungle Dash 1 Giant Swing Along. In this case, in this level, that we actually, I'm presuming I might actually act out as Tarzan for this particular level, because not to mention though, we're swinging on these little vines and stuff. Not to mention though, we're gonna have to like come across into, once again, giant enemies. So that's usually how this goes when it comes to this part. So I somehow completely must fail for this, because I'm presuming in order to get the first star coin, not to mention I have to once again take the first step of each world. Although, To be fair though, that's probably because I accidentally just shoot the ice flower by complete accident for myself. So I'll probably actually yeah, I do have the spare ice flower on me. So thanks to the you know, a bunch of toad houses and all that kinds of stuff. But even then, we'll just have to try this again, shall we? So hopefully this time we're not gonna shoot the ice ball at the giant Koopa Troopa just to begin with. So yeah, this level's very similar to how it does it for the giants of the jungle, or giant jungle of the giants. I'm assuming that the level's actually called in New Super Mario Bros. U, but even then, no, it feels exactly like how it does it in the ones in the Mario version, but except there's gonna be a lot of emphasis on dodging a lot of poison water now, because even then, though, that we're gonna have to like swinging vine to vine, and that's all you're essentially gonna do for this level. So yeah, and also that the first star coin you need to do is pretty self-explanatory if you actually get your pattern down. It's the fact that you need to use the red Koopa Trooper to actually just knock off the or knock the brick blocks out, and then just trying to hit the one on the very bottom one to actually create a beanstalk, and that way it actually gives you to the first star coin. The second star coin needs to be Super Luigi, or Fire Luigi, or Ice Luigi, whatever you prefer. And then, you know, to ground pound these breakable, big blocks. And the third and final one, you need to actually use the red Koopa mostly for, just to deal with the tossing shell in order to actually get the third and final star coin. Because, usually speaking of such, luckily for the giant enemies, you can actually grab yourself a third and final star coin with the enemy tossing. So, yeah, I think already suggest that out right now. Don't give up. No, 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 no. But even then, no, I'm not giving up just yet, though. So anyway. So I wonder what items I can get. I think I'm actually getting ourselves a Starman and a 1-up, because even though I pretty much ran out of Starmans right now, because the only time I probably should use them until now, especially noticeable, and there was going to be next Napa Chase sequence, which, damn it. So here goes my 2 lovely items. Sugar. Oh, it's always because my eyes are going a little bit too messed up at one point, but, oh well, maybe in another item shop, I'm hoping I could get another Starman. Anyways, Soda Jungle Dash 2, Dancing Blocks, Poison Swamp. So in this case, in this level, that we actually gonna come across into those moving, brick platforms. In addition to that, though, that this level also contains a secret exit, and it's pretty easy kind of thing about it, especially noticeable if you're actually trying to figure this puzzle out. Basically, you know this little question mark block is going to be located at this little pivot point with this little, dancing blocks and all that kinds of stuff that's been happening right now. You know this little pivot point, or, well, before I actually get into that, there's the first star coin. And yeah, there's the question mark block. In order to actually do this, is that you're highly recommended to you until you actually wait until when some bunch of brick blocks are coming from up to top to the bottom. And then once you ground pound the actual question mark switch, there's actually a secret switch there. And then if you actually activate that, this will actually lead you to not only the created platforms to the brick blocks to actually avoid the poison swamp, but also the pipe cannon and also the secret lovely exit. And also 8-bit Luigi. 8-bit Luigi is actually hiding for that Bowser's flag for the entire time. Which is quite sneaky if you ask me. But anyway. And now I believe this will actually lead you to the giant portion of the underworld map itself, which usually speaking of such, this will actually lead you to Soda Jungle Dash 6 and 7. So, yeah, predictably Soda Jungle is the longest world in the game, because usually speaking, if you couldn't tell from the time length, that usually it's going up to like, almost up to like 35 minutes or over, so that's as far as I can probably imagine that. So anyway. So usually speaking of such, that I've recently played, you know, Super Mario Run lately, and even then though, that I've pretty enjoyed it so far. The only time I actually just constantly find myself dying a lot is that, you know, the unlockable characters you can get in during the Super Mario Run. Granted, the first 2, or in this case Mario was the only one that he unlocked from the get-go. That those 2 are Peach and Toad. They are pretty self-explanatory. They well, usually speaking, in order to unlock Peach, you need to simply beat the game. And then Toad, you have to link up to your My Nintendo Link account. And I found that to be quite an easier setup, especially I have myself a Google account with me, so even then though, that's it, or especially for us, mainly Pinkie Pie and the rest of the gang, But even then, that we managed to set that up, and it turns out worked quite well, actually. And then also, Yoshi was actually pretty self-explanatory if you're actually going to be getting a whole abundance of toads, different colored toads via the Yoshi's house. However, unlocking Luigi and especially Toadette most likely are by far the hardest characters to unlock for me, but I'll talk more into that until we actually get into it. Next level, Soda Jungle Dash 3, Heart of Bramble Woods. So once again, we have to come across into brambles, most likely, for this level, so... In fact, usually speaking though, that if you actually activate the P-switch right over there... Ah, I got hit. There goes that. Here goes my lovely flying squirrel power-up, as far as I can see for this, so... Anyway though, so let's go ahead and not to get hit like that, even though as a matter of fact though, I might actually go ahead and dodge every single footprint or what have you, or in this case these little bramble footprints or something. But then again, I probably need to actually just pay attention to the enemy pattern. But anyway though, so here's the third and final star coin. I think this level is actually pretty short as it is, so yeah, it's kind of cool stuff. So let's go ahead and... Oh, goodness me, that was close. Immediately, though, at first I thought that these little brown balls are about to be moving until when I defeated one and a half you. But then again, I've pretty much actually just managed to make through this. So, there we go. Actually, usually speaking, though, that we actually breezing for this game quite literally fast. Oh, God, here's probably the most toughest Nabbit chase sequence in the entirety of New Super Luigi U so far. And that belongs to Giant Swing Along. And I believe there's also another level that is actually very similar to that, but I'll explain more to that later. But for now, let's move on to the tower level, which was called, I'm assuming, Stone Snake Tower. So, yeah, kind of more to delve for anyway, because I'm assuming that much like how it does it from the New Super Mario Bros. U version, that we're going to have to come across into a giant snake block and tourist. So... yeah, as far as memories goes for this level's gimmick, that's basically how this is. So, yeah, I really do apologize for this little pointless dialogue to begin with. It's mostly because, you know, there's not much else I can ask to actually point this out, and plus not to mention though, there's not much else I can talk throughout. Besides the point that we're actually pretty much almost done throughout this game's Let's Play, even halfway done with the game already. Granted, but because this game is actually a lot more shorter than the ones in the Mario version, but still, usually sometimes we can actually just have some capabilities like these. So, anyway though, so the first two star coins are pretty simple, self-explanatory, but the last one you're gonna have to like, oh god, no, I think I messed it up. Have I messed it up? Yeah, I totally messed that up. In order to get the last star coin, you need to actually be very quick until you actually go through this little visible wall, and that way you can actually get the third and final star coin. So, no matter what though, I'm gonna kill myself. That's what I'm gonna do, so I'll be right back. Alright, quick. There we go. And if you can see, there's actually another 8-bit Luigi, and there you go. There's the third and final star coin. So you're gonna have to be really fast. If you don't make it in nick of time, then you probably ended up won't getting that star coin at all. Unless if you either actually just, you know, die or lose a life, or you can actually just exit out the level if you complete the level already. So, yeah. And now Chemic's gonna do a spell on Boom Boom to make him gigantic, because it makes him more doubtful. Because you know at the first level in the Soda Jungle that every single enemies are turned into big or giant formations. So yeah, much like any other Boom Boom battles, he's pathetically easy. So especially the ones that afterward in Rock Candy Mines, where will be the last time we're gonna be seeing Boom Boom. Not until when we get to Super Mario 3D World that he'll make a return. So yeah, expecting that Let's Play will be coming up until next year. At least as far as I think about it, that is. So, anyway. Actually, before we actually get into the second half of, this particular world, it's a good thing that, after when you beat the tower level, the game actually tells me to save the game. So, let's just do the Nabbit Chase sequence, shall we? Oh boy, I'm not looking forward to this, actually, because normally, speaking of such, this will actually be the hardest Nabbit chase sequence in the entire New Super Luigi U by far. So far, that anyway. Because all you have to do is you have to time your jumps and whatnot, especially if you want to actually be really precise with your, swinging vines. Especially you want to actually, although you think you actually caught the Nabbit to begin with, but even the next thing you know, you need to be right on with your landing with those little platforms that you get. So, there we go. 5 Nebbits has been chased, or been caught. So only 2 more left, actually, because even then, though, the only 2 remaining, which are Rock Candy Mines and Moraine Clouds. So anyways, the next level we have is Soda Jungle's Ghost House, Boo's favorite haunts. So, I wonder what this level's gonna be like. Well, we'll have to find out and jump in, shall we? I'm quite surprised though, actually, because we only got 2 Ghost House levels left, because even then though, we'd done 2 already, but we actually got about, roughly, 2 more left actually, so, because of this though, we're actually breezing through New Super Luigi U really fast and quickly. Especially perfect timing for these particular clips too, because after all, Christmas is getting closer. It's even then though, as soon as I'm actually done with this game Let's Play of New Super Luigi U, then I'm pretty sure that I can actually just move on to the last couple of parts on certain Let's Plays we'll be doing. But even then though, I think there's not much else new plannings for the new Let's Plays in 2016, because the final new Let's Play is concerned. It was definitely Nights into Dreams, because usually speaking, despite the fact that how, or even though Nights into Dreams was actually a pretty short game, but it's still a lot of fun to actually go through. Especially how Sylvester and Toadette actually now finishes that Let's Play, even though it's pretty short though nonetheless. But anyway though. So in this level though, we're gonna have to come across into a whole bunchensy of those little circular boos right there. Especially noticeable that, as you can see right there, that I actually managed to encounter myself the secret exit. Not to mention though, the 3rd star coin, because in order to get those 2, both the secret exit and the 3rd and final star coin, you need to actually, it's important to know that you need to use the flying squirrel Luigi in order to actually proceed for this particular secret exit. And while you're at it though, I think it's actually, pretty noticeable for this little case, especially how, the fact that you can actually move on into the next level all the way up to the skies, which I'm assuming is going to be yet another Parabeetle level, which will actually lead you to the Moraine Clouds after when you beat that level. As far as the last secret levels are concerned, at least the main worlds for that anyway. Yeah, I apologize for this little, flickering, glitch thing right is going on. It's probably because my capture card sometimes always does that, especially with graphical glitches and stuff. But even though still, it's probably mostly happened to these most case scenarios, so I really do apologize. So, anywho. So, conveniently enough though, that we actually halfway done with Soda Jungle already. Well, despite the fact that the fact that this world is actually much more longer than the other worlds we've been into, like Acorn Plains, Layer Cake Desert, Sparkling Waters, and Frosty Glacier, etc, etc. Even then though, I'm pretty sure that we can actually get this world done and just for the sake of being. So anyway though. So you're probably expected by now, when it comes to actually death counts and what have you, especially the likes of how the Soda Jungle, for example, that get ready to prepare yourself is probably the most editing departments right off the bat though, even though that, as you can tell from my dialogue, is actually really corny and cheesy, especially how dull that was. It's mostly because there's not much else I can speak of. But anyway though. So anyways, now we move on to the next bunch of levels over there, which are Soda Jungle Dash 4, which was Painted Pipe Works. So, what this level's gimmick was, well, we're just gonna have to jump in. Well, much like how it does in New Super Mario Bros. U version, we're going to be taking place in this little environment, this little painted environment, which I found is kind of unique. And also that we're actually going to come across into this tilted pipes, which, sure enough, that's how this level's gimmick is. So, yeah, that's how it usually goes. So you're going to have to wait until when this the red pipe actually showed up, because this actually contains the 1st star coin. The 2nd star coin, you're going to have to be sure you have to, like, jump for the highest height, but specifically in this segment, so it's pretty easy to get. For the 3rd and final star coin, you need to be really right on with your wall jump precisement, because usually speaking, or if you actually just actually got yourself a flying squirrel Luigi, which sure enough you already still do, then you're pretty sure you have to actually just press the ZR button trigger really fast. And if you don't, you probably ended up going automatically died via the poison swamp. So just want to point this out right now. And right off the bat though, I actually got 66 1-ups, so I'm pretty much barely making a way to 99 at the moment. But still. But even then though, much like in New Super Mario Bros. U, that if you get a normal exit in these 2 levels right there, it will immediately go back into the certain points of this particular part of the world map. So, in this case, much like in New Super Mario Bros. U, that we have to get ourselves a secret exit in order to finish the level. So, in this case, in order to progress through the forest area. So, but if not though, however, you probably ended up having good luck finding it, because even then though, yeah. So, yeah, whenever, not much of the fact that the fact that I've, recently beat, the Super Mario Run, in this case, complete the actual, story mode of, Super Mario Run so far, the only time I actually get a little bit too frustrated with is being a Toad Rally mode, even then though, that the only time I need to get, these 2 unlockable characters left, which are Luigi and Toadette, those 2 are by far the hardest playable character unlockable-wise in order to get for me, because not to mention though, although Luigi might be a little bit in the middle, but as for Toadette though, you need to get 200 of each colored Toad. And sometimes though, every time when I actually more likely to select these stages, the stages I always go for is actually the airship levels, which if I constantly playing for that and actually just kept on rematching those Mii's into this little Toad Rally matches, I will say I'm absolutely sick of the airship levels in Super Mario Run, and I think you guys know why. But anyway, I'll talk more to that until later. But for now, Soda Jungle Dash 5 Deep Sea Stone Eyes. Of all the secret exits in New Super Luigi U, this is by far the easiest and shortest secret exit in the entire game. If you ground pound him, not to mention if you actually completely avoided that pipe at all times, you go there and no enemies in sight, so instead, bunch of stone eye platforms, boom. You pretty much expected you're actually going to be finishing this level in under 20 seconds or less. But yeah, pretty easy secret exit to find, although it might be really pretty much missable whenever you're actually just trying to first time playing New Super Luigi U to begin with, but still, pretty much just safe to say, pretty much an easiest secret exit to find. And there we go, find Squirrel power up at long last. Because much like New Super Mario Bros. U, in order to get that power up for the Fear the Fireworks, you need to be sure to reach up to 72 seconds. So in this case, 77 seconds if you ask me. So even then, I'm talking way too fast at the moment. But anyway. So how about the level itself? Sorry about that, folks. It's just I'm really tired at this point. But anyway, so how it works to this level was is that we're gonna have to mostly go in swimming underwater for the whole time. And not to mention that there are a couple of stone eyes involved in this level, and also some bone fins every now and then. So even then, so the first star coin is actually pretty simple to get. It's gonna have to swim from the right, and not to get. Oh, for God forbid you don't want to get squished by the stone eyes, because now the stone eyes will eventually gonna kill you if you actually get crushed into those guys. So it's got to stay very sharp. And also, very careful right there, because if you can tell, that if you think you actually grab yourselves a second star coin, then the next thing you know is that the stone eye will actually going to kill you in one shot. So, and you have to like swim up for this little part right there, and there's another 8-bit Luigi right there. Amongst that with the third and final star coin, of course. So, yeah, just be sure if you actually be cautious with this little thing happens, especially if you actually grab yourselves the third and final star coin, you have to actually just, you know, dodge this little, crushing part, and then, boom, there you go. Okay then, so, now we're done with that, and now let's move on to the next couple of levels, being the outside part of the forest. I don't think that Sylvester and Chip actually discovers the enemy courses in this particular world. I don't really think so. But anyway, for the enemy course in Soda Jungle was easily Boos. But even then though, since Luigi was supposed to be brave enough in order to deal with Boos after the events of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon or Luigi's Mansion 2, even Luigi's Mansion the original. So I very much doubt it for how, although granted though, that he will still get scared by Boos a lot, especially in the likes of in Mario Luigi Paper Jam Brothers and stuff like that, whenever you approach into the middle part of a game and all that, that are usually, speaking of such, that you have to take control of Luigi for this little pivot points throughout the darker points in the forest nature level in, if, Mario and Paper Mario has been captured by, the whole abundance of boos, if you're actually trying to search for them. So anyway, before we actually continue though, however, I'm actually gonna grind myself some, ice flowers and all that. I don't know if, I think I actually got one more item left in my inventory at the moment, so I probably should actually, trying to get the ×2. But if I get ×2, I have to, like, discard it once, so even then, I'm not gonna discard the best power-ups in my inventory at the moment. But nonetheless, though, I got 2 ice flowers to begin with, so anyway, though. So in this case, I'm gonna have to get rid of 1 until now, so let's just say I'll just get a duplicate out, so I thought it was worth mentioning. So, let's see on this little pivot point right there. I got caught by the boo. But even then though, that the weak spot of boo was definitely the Starmans themselves, so that's usually how the boos themselves actually, as far as weakness is concerned, that's how you essentially deal with these boos, so yeah. Because, you know, ghosts are afraid of the light itself, at least as far as I'm concerned from that, thanks to, the recent game came out almost 3 years now, even though that game called Super Mario 3D World. In fact, Super Mario 3D World is now 3 years old until that point right now. Especially New Super Luigi use case. But even then though, that's mainly due to the fact that now we actually move on to 2016. So even then though, then we actually move on to Nintendo Switch until 2017 at one point. But anyway though, now we move on into Soda Jungle Dash 6 Sumo Bro Bridge, which I'm presuming we're gonna come across into Sumo Bros early on now. So in this case, here they are right now, onto this little, you know, moving bridges and stuff. So, how it works with these Sumo Bros, they play it exactly like how it does it from New Super Mario Bros. U version, basically. They'll occasionally try to do a little stomp right there, which actually creates some little shockwaves, which sure enough, they'll actually electrify you if you actually touch them, so... And if you go down to this pipe right there, this is how you get to... Oh! God dang it, I tripped myself. Okay, let's try this again. Anyway, if you actually notice something, it's that on this little green... Fuck. Okay, I'm doing this from one point or another, so it's like... You freaking little... Okay, finally. Oh, goodness me. Sometimes I find myself just getting died by these guys a lot, even though that I sometimes do not jump at all, but even then though, that's how essentially how this goes. So anyway, if you enter this green pipe over there, that's how you get the second star coin. The third and final star coin, I believe, is actually in the earlier point throughout, and there's also another image of Luigi right over there, which I think is kind of cool, created by these little vines, which is pretty cool. So anyway though, I managed to actually decide to use my PA coin just because it's a lifesaver in this particular level. In this case, if you actually somehow manage to avoid everything in this level how it usually goes. Especially when it comes to the later parts of the levels themselves though, when we'll get into that in a moment. So anyway, I think that's it for this level right here. Even though I somehow managed to die like 3 times in this level. Which is a little bit of a shame really. In fact, speaking of the death count of this level so far, much like Sparkling Waters, I pretty much died like 5 times in total. So, I guess that must have figured this out. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, now let's move on to the level from the bottom, which I'm presuming is level Soda Jungle Dash 7, which was called Wiggler Floodlines. So, what this level's gimmick is? Well, obviously we got such a giant Wigglers make a return, and even though they behave exactly like how it does it from before, if you bounce on those, it'll send you all the way up. So, in this case, we're gonna have to go all the way up to the top, because in order to actually avoid the bottom section at all times, because if you couldn't tell already, that the purple, damn it. Oh, actually, do I? No, I guess not. So yeah, the second star coin you need to get is you have to get yourselves a Koopa shell in order to bust for these little solid blocks, because if you ground pound on these side with these 3 blocks, these will go solid as opposed to unbreakable, unlike brick blocks and stuff like that. So unfortunately there's no way I can do that at the moment, so even then I only got 2 star coins. Although I could take a death, but I'm not going to risk it, so even though no, I'm not gonna like provide for doing that. So I'll just actually try to cut this out until I'm actually just trying to make my way to actually get us the second, or in this case, the third and final star coins. Even then, though, that's usually how this goes for me, so... Oh well, though. But hey, at least in this level's gimmick, though, you're gonna have to make your way all the way up to the top before you actually get killed by the poison swarm. Because if you let the poison swarm go continuously going up, you automatically die after doing so. So I'll be right, guys, for that little point. There we go. And I'll meet you back in the world map. Okay, now I've got all these 3-star coins right now, even though grantedly though, I've actually grown myself some extra lives now. So, right now my lives count is now to 74, not to be confused as that similar number as far as King Loser 74 is concerned. Now before we actually get into the castle level though, however, I'm actually going to be doing the secret level now in the Soda Jungle, which in this case, this level's called something related to the Parabeetles, Soda Jungle Parabeetles, Parabeetle Parade. In this case, this level is going to be filled with Parabeetles, much like it does it for the Flight of the Parabeetles from New Super Mario Bros. U. We even end up that we're actually going to be coming across into very, very difficult obstacles later on, especially some toughened variations of these enemies, more likely to be, some piranha plants over there that would now hop onto these Parabeetles, which can be a little bit too much of its own thing. But however though, once we actually get in later on throughout the level itself, that we're not to mention though, you're gonna have to be very quick on this first star coin, because even then though, this will actually contains, if you actually kill the piranha plants in that huge one that time, some bonsai bills. Although, granted though, they're pretty easy to avoid though, assuming if you actually just use your flying squirrel. Oh my goodness me, King Bill again! But even though that he only appears at one time this time. At least as far as I was hoping for anyway, please see if even then. He's more terrifying than it looks. But even then though, that I do have credit, I'll deserve you that if you actually just to actually... Oh, there goes another one. And then, boom, there we go. Although, predictably enough, I just wanted to actually get ourselves a 3-digit number. In this case, 2-digit numbers, 33 seconds. Although it seems rather pointless to me, because I'm pretty sure if I actually get that number right there, I think this will actually give you just only extra lives, which I'm assuming is kind of worthless for me. But I digress though. But I'll take it as far as this goes. And I'm pretty sure enough that I've got about 19 1-ups to go until I reach up to 99 maximum lives. So yeah. And then this will actually lead you to this cloud level, which was moraine clouds. So even though now I'm not going to jump into that world just yet, because as usual, I'm going to have to do those worlds in a particular order. So let's see what this guy says. Warning, bonsai bills. Which sure enough, there are a couple of bonsai bills in it whenever you're trying to go for a second star coin, if you actually glide towards it. We even know they're not much of a threat for me, but the ones that threatened me was the big, like, King Bill himself. But anyway, though, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go through all these again, so I think I'm pretty sure I memorized the little path right there, if I manage to completely avoid these boos. Anyways, now we move on to the last level in, Soda Jungle, and that was, Iggy's Swinging Chains Castle. In this case, Soda Jungle's Castle. So here we go. I'm coming get you, Iggy. And here's that very familiar image right there. So in this case, in this level's gimmick is that we're gonna have to swing from chains. So yeah, that's how it's self-explanatory as goes. However, here's the thing though, is that this level actually has some filled with fire waves. So in this case, you don't want to accidentally touch those, because if you do, you instantly get died by these little lava, because as you expected, in every single 2D Mario games, even 3D ones as well, well, except for Galaxy 1 and especially Galaxy 2, that, and especially Super Mario 64, that, you actually, just manage to, instantly kill yourself, even especially in Super Mario Sunshine, in Corona Mountain, and especially Super Mario 3D Land, and even 3D World for that matter. But the only 3 exceptions, which are, well, obviously Super Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy, and especially Super Mario Galaxy 2. Because usually, speaking of such, that usually you only like have invincibility frames after when you get hit by lava and stuff, even when it comes to fire as well. So anyway, though, so as far as Iggy Battle is concerned, it's pretty self-explanatory if you actually kind of think about it. So yeah, not much to discuss for this fight, so... Yeah, that's all I can really say, but... You've got to be kidding me. Anyway, so, yeah, a few things I want to briefly mention this before I actually end this episode off is the fact that, originally, they decided to rumor that there's going to be a next Zelda game is going to come out in both Nintendo Wii U and Nintendo Switch. I don't know if it's going to be true for actually releasing on the Wii U, because I've heard a lot of rumors about Breath of the Wild for the Wii U were about to be released. Well, granted, because of the Wii U's service is now ended, which is a bit of unfortunate, even though I really love the Wii U itself so far, which I'm pretty adored by it, because even then, though, that don't know if they're actually going to make the Wii U version cancelled of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, just like Yooka-Laylee. You can even know they'll move on to Nintendo Switch of Yooka-Laylee, but even then, or Yooka-Laylee for that matter. But I don't know about the Breath of the Wild though. Oh, come on, come on, come on! There we go. That was actually quite close to me, because if I actually got killed by him, I had to redo the whole level again and also gain all 3 star coins again, which won't be that too much of a potential for me. And I believe that wraps everything up in Soda Jungle, so unlike how it does it in 2013 version, that I pretty much have to split these parts into 2, for when it comes to Per World anyway, I think every now and then though, since I actually got the YouTube partner this time, and also the HD capture device, so even then I might actually do these worlds in all the levels in 1 per video, in 1 per world. So anyways, we got all the star coins in Soda Jungle, so yeah. So anyways, let's see how this, oh yeah, it says this exact same thing. But anyway, so, I'm guessing is that we're gonna have to end things off here. So join me next time on Let's Play New Super Luigi's that we're moving on into the 6th world known as Rock Candy Mines, which is self-explanatory, I kind of think about it. And also some bunch of switches we have to deal with until at this point. So anyways, see you guys next time. Later, fellas.